Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes, Life Path 33. This is going to be a general message and we will just take what resonates, leave the rest. This is going to be kind of like a positive and a negative polarity, and any information that you need to know. And yeah, hope you are well. Obviously, as always, like, energy is constantly swaying, right? But going into a retrograde transit, right, with the full moon and all of that good stuff, there is layers of old that like are dissolving so that you are no longer taking it with you in the next 18 years, right? Because this next transit we're going into after the retrograde is essentially like this setting up and foundation of like 18 years. So kids that are being incarnated in this current cycle, like this is essentially setting up like what their 18 years are going to look like, right? And so for those of you that are parents, like it is a really interesting thing to like do their numbers and like look at their birth date, find their life path, find their projection, like their type that they're manifesting with, their human design, and then looking at what's the other one? It's like gene codes, and essentially like taking all of them and meshing them all together. I do this for my clients too, by the way. I don't pretend to be an astrologer. However, I do find it very, very critical in regards to like the development and karmic contracts, because the whole reason why you've incarnated is because you have chosen to help the collective like evolve in the period that you have incarnated in, right? And so like your intuition is being developed, like your ability to manifest instantaneously is being developed, and like it had to have been done through isolation, although it was a very painful experience, right? Being isolated, you're alone with your internal thoughts. And if your internal thoughts are yet to be separated from yourself versus ego, yourself versus entity, like then you are not the authority in that space, right? And this time essentially took you to, number one, realize like how to move in the world, right? How to remove in the world, how to operate in the world with your gifts, right? So like before, you were essentially like being blind and you were just like in a reactive state of being, right? Because your solar plex was blocked, because your sacral was blocked, because your root was completely scrambled, right? Because of life experiences. And so like when you're going back and you're recataloging like the how you ended up where you ended up, and the why you ended up where you ended up, and like the pathways that you crossed or encountered on this journey thus far, is kind of like showing you exactly like why you are where you are and where you desire to be, and the separation between the two, right? Because as Abraham says, you would not know what you desire if you had not experienced what you did not desire. So you're putting all these things in the vortex, and they're saying like over the course of the next 18 years, like this stuff is just going to start spitting out at a rapid rate. And your intuition is probably like, you're probably at a point and where you're like tripping out and you're like thinking, did that person really just say that? Or is that true what they think about me? Right? It's like you're almost in responsive without even realizing that you're in responsive to like the internal dialogue that you're hearing, right? And so how do you get a handle on that, right? Because it can be very overwhelming when you all of a sudden feel all the emotions, you see or feel all the thoughts, you're getting pictures of like where people are living at in their mental space, right? And if they have tons of entities, like that can be very draining. Yeah, it's like, it's a gift, but it's a curse. And so you could feel like you want to bury your head, right? Like you don't want to necessarily see all the things that you are seeing. And interesting. Okay. It'll kind of work. Okay. Sorry. And then final. Two more. And one more. Thank you. Okay, no, we'll do 5. Fair enough. 6. All right. So, thank you for being with me on that little elongated situation. So somebody very well may want to go on like some kind of a somebody's going to be super vulnerable in regards to being in their heart space and kind of showing you an aspect that they've never showed anybody before, right? So you're going to have to be in your heart center, be calm, be cool, be collective, be regal, is what they just said, be royal in the process, right? And seek your ancestors to the clarification. Like, first listen, allow yourself to process what is being said, right? Just take it in. And then, like, pause in motion and allow yourself in that split second, right? Just say, you know what? I want my ancestors to help guide me to my highest and best good, right? And you're kind of like allowing yourself to soften in the heart center because you know that something outside of you is helping you get on a higher timeline, right? They're essentially granting you the wish that you asked for. Whew. It's funny, somebody just said orgasm. They're like, see, orgasm, it's right there. So who knows? Maybe you asked for that. I don't know. Take it as it resonates, right? But through like this... Wait a minute, what is that? Okay, so side note. There was something in regards to something that was short-lived, that was like ecstasy, that was like a push against loyalty, right? Where somebody kept being faked out. It's kind of like somebody saw the opportunity in financial abundance with someone, that they lied about being with that someone, and then they actually liked like the other sex, say, or they had like 4 other people that they were sleeping with, or whatever that looks like, right? Oh, am I screening the pooch on The Secret? Kind of. So there is divine guidance in this process as it's unfolding. And whatever those heart-closing events were, right, that caused you to feel like you were doing something that felt completely out of the ordinary, right? Like, the thing is it never felt right to you, and that's part of the reason is because you were like actually unhappy in the process, right? And so after you're examining everything with a fine-tooth comb, like, you're kind of going around and around with the process, with the thoughts, with the actions, with the different perspectives in the process. And maybe that's what you've been unpacking for like the last 4 years, is what they said, 3 years. And now you finally feel like you're ramped up, like you're ready to go, like things are starting to finally fall into place, that you are healthiest in your heart center. And then all of a sudden, there's this push, this shutdown, this old that's trying to come up again, that's trying to keep you in this like raw state of being, right? Of this, the unhealed, ripping off a Band-Aid, open wound kind of a vibration, right? And so, like, there's a conscious awareness that, like, whatever's been hitting you over the last week, like, or will hit you today, it's not yours. The energy doesn't belong to you. Yes, these are all things that you went through in this process of awakening, right? But you're no longer that battle-weary warrior soldier. And, like, through the or who knows, maybe you're in the process of doing this stuff. Again, a lot of different people. But, like, as you go out to retreat into internal, into the trees, into nature, like, start rebalancing with your intuition through this isolation, through this space of you with you, like getting into that next phase. That show me that. It's like the minute that you take time to calm your nerves and, like, get into your internal guidance, like, you're able to see the truth of the what is, right? It's like all of a sudden there is no temptation, because you then become the person that you know to be. Like, it's legit with this tapping in. Oh, that's interesting. They just said, like, when you're meditating and you close your eyes and you can envision a door right in front of you, right? And it's got, like, that backlit light. Start working with your guides to see on the other side, right? Or, because, like, that's how I first started ripping open portals, is by idealizing and seeing what is with that door. And I didn't look for the door. The door literally popped up in my foresight. And so also pay attention to what side the handle is on the door, right? Are you going past life or are you going present life? And so right and left, masculine, feminine energy, very important. And then also state of being, like, when you are going through those doors, like, are you in a low depressive state? Because critically, like, when you are working in the etheric realms, the last thing you want to do is have entity attachments or be in a lower vibration or have cords of entities that do not serve you, right? It's, what was that I watched? I watched this, there was this guy who was talking about, like, it was a YouTube, I think. It was some docuseries. And he was talking about, like, going upriver in South America. And they say, yeah, when you go in this river, like, the shamans have to bless you. And they take this concoction and they blow it up your nose. And it's like, if your body swells up, if you start vomiting, if your eyes swell, it's actually a good thing. Because it means that the spirit that was attached to you, the demonic frequency, essentially releases your energy, right? And you can do this without doing that, but they also said, like, when the guy if the guy would have gone upriver with that entity, he would have died. Because the frequency is so high as you go into the jungle and as you get to a particular temple or a destination, the energy and the frequencies are so high that no darkness can impede it. And he didn't say that, but that was the download that I got, right? And so at a certain point, at a certain frequency, like, you're not allowed to access certain things if you have entity attachments, right? Because the thought you think you hear, that's actually not your higher self. That's actually a lower vibrational entity. And every time you drink excessive amounts of alcohol, that opens up, right? I don't know why, but that, like, pop through. And so if you have not cleared the entities from when you were drinking excessively, that is something that you're going to want to do, because they're still with you, right? Whenever you get those waves of emotion, that's what that is. So, like, going through and, like, seeking the knowledge, seeking the authority, seeking the divine intervention in the process, the partnerships, the soul family, having, like, leaning into the side of hope, right? Because it's very easy to drift into the negativity, right? To drift into the coulda, woulda, shouldas, the I can't believe, right? And I'm telling you, like, because of whatever's happening in the transits right now, it's very critical, specifically over the next, like, with whatever's happening in this full moon, Like, release all of the old stuff that you're holding on to, right? Write it out, burn it, like, give it away, bury it, don't flush it. Or you can give it to the ocean, right? If you're by the ocean. And it's critical because you don't want to be in a lower state of being and move into the future. You cannot take your past into your future, or you will literally be repeating a cycle that you've already done. And how many times have you been in that loop? Not being tapped in, being isolated, thinking it's coming, but it's not coming yet. It's not coming yet. It's not. How many years have you been sitting on it's not coming yet? They're just saying your luck is changing now. Like, it's literally you stepping into the vibration of joy and ecstasy and elation and wisdom and knowledge and the desire to know that what you seek is seeking you, right? And it has to be the same. So allow it to unfold, right? Step into your guidance as a traveler on this earth, on this rock, they just said. Through enlightenment and through your dreams comes your clarity in the path next to take. Anything else? You just said numbers, so I'll go ahead and pull you some of those. Something with roses is going to be significant, right? Maybe somebody will gift you roses. The process is being made in progress is being made in your connection. What you see in this, what are you seeing in the 3D world? Purity, safety, light, and innocence. 222. Necessary seeds have been planted on your journey. Remain patient as they begin to gestate. So, you're going to see those. And I would say, and also 112, they just said, and 811. Yeah, I think the sun's in Cancer and the moon is in Capricorn, if I'm not mistaken. But whenever you're watching this, whatever the placements of the sun and the moon are going to be very important in regards to like what you need to clear if whatever's coming up, right? Because these are all timeless. And so ask for updates, ask for synchronicities, and ask for clarity, right? Every time you see it, if this is in regards to love, like, ask them to show you these numbers and let go of the expectation. Just go out into the world and you are going to be absolutely blown away at how consecutively these things are popping up in your reality. I'm going to leave that there. If something in this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be well. Ciao.